this is now going to bring everyone up to speed as to how is this been brought into the market and also what support programs are available. Next slide, Jim. So one of the key things, the first release had quite a few financial services firms helping us along with the large digital firms and more. We made a commitment that we wanted the framework to be validated against all other major sectors in the marketplace. So we were blessed to have this group of companies put in 2 executives to do a 2-day review. We did the entire course review and went through all of these materials, and it represented the pharmaceutical industry, the telecommunications industry, manufacturing, consumer products, and more. And over the 2 days, we went through every bit of the framework to confirm were there any requirements in those industry sectors that necessitated enhancements into the framework. And what we were able to validate is the core provisions of data protection in cloud, hybrid cloud, and multi-cloud that was built in for protecting sensitive data in the financial markets is equally valid across the other industries as well. One comment we did have is if there's a lighter version of this for companies that are smaller in certain sectors that may not have as many regulatory requirements, that might be useful. But with things like GDPR, CCPA, and other data privacy laws, whether it's Social Security, your bank account, or your health records, you have to protect that data equally. So it has become a mandate across all industries. So this was a very successful activity, and we promised we would do it. Next slide. The next is we've also been blessed that the largest cloud companies in the world have been very active in supporting together at the same table. So we've conducted multiple events. On the right side, you'll see that the largest CDO event in the world, which the EDM Council hosts, was CDO Magazine. We have over 3,000 registrants involved, well over 1,000 per day. Google, IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, their global heads of architecture and product management and around governance, all have collaborated to build this and then support this in the marketplace. And a very interesting note is starting first with Amazon. They've announced a configuration of Glue that, along with their other capabilities, will meet the 14 key controls. So if you'd like to learn more about that, let us know. We're hopeful over the next quarter or so, we'll see similar announcements where this framework and the 14 key controls that Ali and Joubert covered that are meant to be automations, meaning built in and operating and protecting, are now coming available through the cloud service providers as well. So more to come on that. Next slide. The other thing that we said is we needed this to be something that creates confidence in the market. So we analyzed and looked at some of the other major standards in the market, notably for cloud security and protection, SOC 2, which is through the American Society of CPA in the US, and also ISO standards. And so we decided to model the assessment and certification after those programs. Jim, this is a bill, so just bring both pieces out if you don't mind. So you'll see for the end companies, if you're an institution, whether you're a manufacturer, consumer products, financial institution, you can do 2 things with the framework. First of all, it is a free license. Anyone in the world, they don't have to be a member, can download this and do their own self-assessment against the 160 pages of guidance. But if you want to use partners to validate you independently, you can have them help you do a readiness assessment, which is identical to what you do with SOC 2, which is bring a partner in who will evaluate and give you a preliminary report card so you can then assure you get these controls, automations, and processes up and running. And when you're ready, then you can bring them back in to do a certification assessment, again, modeled similar to SOC 2 and ISO, which means that it'll be for a 12-month period, and the council will issue a badge once we've had validation that the requirements of the framework have been met. Similarly, the technology providers, like the cloud providers, notably with AWS being one of the early ones on, and more to come from the other cloud leaders as well, they've taken the 14 key controls and they've had a third party evaluate them, and then they've announced into the market a third party validated assessment against the use of those 14 controls being within their platform. And that's the 2 ways that this is operating in the market. Next slide, Jim. You also see we've been blessed that there's upwards of 25 partners globally that can provide and conduct these independent assessments. So you'll recognize companies of all different sizes. Hopefully there's enough available now where if you want to go do a readiness assessment or a certification assessment, you can go to the EDM Council website or visit with one of these partners that you likely have a relationship with already. Next. The other thing that's been great is that we've been having very active support in the marketplace. So here you have Keely Miles. She's with Ford, happens to be with the Ford Motor Credit. They brought in one of the partners, did a full independent assessment. She openly spoke about this at a recent conference with the EDM Council. Also sat with SocGen, Toronto Dominion, British Telecom, or BT, and Freddie Mac, all talking about their plans in either actively conducting assessments right now or having completed them or about to kick off. What I can share with you is that this is now a crescendo. We're aware in the marketplace today of 30 to 40 companies plus that are either active in their assessments right now or planning them in the first quarters of 2023 with more to come. Because now that these controls are there and it's a comprehensive way to protect sensitive data and all the different cloud offerings, and now that the cloud companies are also making configurations available, it's a fantastic way to accelerate trusted cloud adoption.